Welcome, everyone, to Assembly Bethesda On Air. I am your host, Hayne Fogarty, and today we're diving deep into a truly powerful idea, something I like to call the Crypt Keeper's Confession. Now, doesn't that just grab your attention? Here's the core of it. It's about the Keeper of Death, that classic figure of endings and finality, confessing the greater, overwhelming power of the Keeper of Life, Jesus. We're going to spend some good quality time unpacking this in a relaxed way. No heavy lectures, just straight conversation about what it means for you and me. You know, in our world, things often feel like they're heading toward a crypt, don't they? That sense of finality, of things just ending. But the Crypt Keeper, in this confession, steps forward and admits something huge. Death itself has to acknowledge that Jesus holds more power, that Jesus is stronger. He is the one who brings real living, hope, and eternity.
Let's start with the basics, shall we? In the grand, sweeping picture of faith, it genuinely looked like death had won for a while. The end seemed like the end. But what's interesting is that Jesus came, lived among us, and showed a radically different way. He healed the sick, he comforted the brokenhearted, and then, yes, he faced the cross. But when he rose again, that empty tomb became the ultimate confession. It was the undeniable proof. The keeper of death had no choice but to admit defeat, to bow down. Jesus is stronger, absolutely stronger. We see this power, this undeniable authority, in how Jesus called people right out of tombs. Think about it. The crypt seemed final. The stone was rolled securely in place. But Jesus simply said, "Come out," and life won. That very same power is available to us, right here, right now. The confession reminds us that no situation, I mean truly no situation, is too dead for Jesus to touch.
As we continue, I want you to think about your daily life. How many of us face seasons that feel like crypts? We get stuck in routines that drain our joy, or perhaps habits that lead absolutely nowhere, or fears that just lock us in. The Keeper of Death, metaphorically speaking, wants to keep us right there, trapped in those spaces. But the confession from the Crypt Keeper points us directly to Jesus, the one who breaks those locks. He offers forgiveness that genuinely wipes the slate clean, and a new start that feels so incredibly alive. Jesus himself said he came so we could have life to the full, not just surviving, not just getting by, but truly thriving in his love and purpose. The Crypt Keeper confesses this profound truth because he saw the resurrection. He witnessed the chains of death shatter. And the incredible news is, we can claim that very same victory just by trusting in Jesus.
Let's explore this further. The Bible talks often about life versus death, light versus darkness. And Jesus, my friends, is the light that the darkness simply cannot overcome. The Keeper of Death operates in shadows, trying to keep us hidden and afraid. But Jesus floods those shadows with truth and undeniable hope. This confession, this powerful admission, is really an invitation for you and me to step out of fear and to step into confidence. In our world today, with all the uncertainty and the noise, this message hits home, doesn't it? People are looking for answers in all sorts of places, trying to find meaning and security. But the real answer, the lasting answer, is the Keeper of Life. He promises peace that truly lasts, a joy that bubbles up even in hard times, and a home forever with him. It's a comforting thought, isn't it? Knowing there's a light that darkness cannot extinguish.
We can keep going with this because its application is so wide. Consider how relationships sometimes get rocky and feel dead, like they're beyond repair. Jesus brings reconciliation and fresh love to those situations. Or what about dreams that seem buried, forgotten in the crypt of disappointments? He resurrects them in his perfect timing. The confession from the Crypt Keeper is such good news because it tells us that endings are truly not the end when Jesus is involved. His power is greater, profoundly greater, because he created life in the first place. He knows exactly how to restore it.
The keeper of death may have a temporary hold, a fleeting moment of power, but Jesus has eternal authority. That, my friends, is worth celebrating, and it's absolutely worth sharing with everyone we know. This confession encourages us to live boldly, without fear. The cross looked like death's ultimate win, didn't it? But 3 days later, it became life's greatest triumph. The confession echoes through history. Many have found freedom because they believe Jesus is the keeper of life. And you can too. Here's the casual reality of it. Jesus meets us right where we are. No need for perfect behavior first. Just come, confess your need, and receive his life. The crypt keeper has to step aside. Think about community for a moment. When believers gather, they remind each other of this confession. They encourage one another to live in the power of the resurrection. It's practical and it's so real. Continuing on, the greater power of Jesus means incredible hope for the future. Death absolutely does not get the last word. Life does, through him. This completely flips how we see challenges. They become opportunities for his strength to show up, doesn't it? We can spend time on the promises. Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." That path leads directly away from the crypt and into abundant living. This confession is for everyone. No matter your background or your past, Jesus offers this greater power. Receive it today. Let the keeper of death's admission point you directly to the keeper of life. Let's keep unpacking how this applies across all areas. When finances feel dead and buried under bills, the keeper of life provides wisdom and opens doors. When purpose feels lost in the crypt of confusion, Jesus brings clarity and direction, one step at a time. Even when joy seems gone, his presence revives the heart. The confession stands firm. Death yields to life. Guilt, shame, regret, they act like locks on a crypt door. Jesus holds the keys. His greater power unlocks everyone. Walk out into forgiveness and new identity. Live light and free, knowing the keeper of death no longer dictates your story. This truth builds resilience. The crypt keeper confesses. The keeper of life reigns. That is the heart of it all. Thank you for joining me today. As always, it is a pleasure to spend this time with you. God bless, and until next time, courage. Thank you again. If you like what I do here, head on over to www.assemblybethesda.com.